Hi there, my name's Simon Drew, and welcome to the Practical Stoic Podcast, where I give you practical Stoic advice for modern times. If you'd like to see more information about the podcast, or if you'd like to see more of my free resources, you can go to my website. It's risetothegoodlife.com. If you have been getting a lot of value out of this podcast, then please don't forget to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you're listening to this, and leave a positive review. But for now, enjoy this episode. Hi there, my name's Simon Drew, and welcome to the Practical Stoic Podcast. I've been thinking about how I should start the podcast in 2018. It's a new year, and I'm sure that many of you have big plans, and so I wanted this episode to be inspiring and useful to you. So as I was contemplating which direction to go, I overheard my wife watching the New Year celebrations in New York, and the commentators were going around the table and saying what they wanted in 2018. One person said that they wanted world peace, and another said that they wanted everyone to join as one, and it was all very world visiony, for lack of a better term. So when I heard this, it got me thinking. Every time New Year's Eve comes around, we tend to think that the next year will be better. We look back on the previous year's struggles, and we make ourselves believe that people will get smarter, governments will take better care of their people, wars will end, greed will disappear, our dreams will come true, and it will be the year of enlightenment for the whole world. And as a lifelong optimist, I see that there are many benefits that can come from starting the year with this starry-eyed view. Hope is a great thing. It's what carries us through the tough times. Optimism is also a great thing. I think the more positive people we have in this world, the better place it will be to live in. But on the other hand, I can also see the benefits of recognizing that life can absolutely suck sometimes. It's helpful to understand that 2018 will most likely not bring world peace, but instead it may bring more struggles and challenges than you've ever dealt with in your entire life. 2018 may just be the year that pushes you down and makes you feel as though you'll never make it through. And so it all comes back to that age-old saying, hope for the best and expect the worst. So in this episode, the first one of 2018, I wanted to share one of my favorite rants by Seneca, which deals with the latter part of that saying, expecting the worst. And before I read this paragraph, I'll note that depending on how you interpret Seneca's words, they may be extremely empowering to you, or they could also be incredibly disheartening. But I can assure you that my intention of reading them to you, and I'm sure his intention when he wrote them, was to empower you. I also wanted to mention that the first sentence of this paragraph is absolutely hilarious because it really gives you a new perspective on what it would have been like to be in a public bath or in a crowd back in Seneca's time. But without further ado, here we go. He said, quote, "One has to accept life on the same terms as the public baths or crowds or travel. Things will get thrown at you and things will hit you. Life is no soft affair. It's a long road you've started on. You can't but expect to have slips and knocks and falls, and get tired, and openly wish for death. At one place you will part from a companion, at another bury one, and be afraid of one at another. These are the kinds of things you'll come up against along this rugged journey. Let the personality be made ready to face anything. Let it be made to realize that it has come to terrain on which thunder and lightning play, terrain on which grief and vengeful care have set their couch, and pallid sickness dwells, and drear old age. This is the company in which you must live out your days. Escape them you cannot, scorn them you can, and scorn them you will if by constant reflection you have anticipated future happenings. Everyone faces up more bravely to a thing for which he has long prepared himself, even sufferings being withstood if they have been trained for in advance. Those who are unprepared, on the other hand, are panic-stricken by the most insignificant happenings. We must see to it that nothing takes us by surprise. And since it is invariably unfamiliarity that makes a thing more formidable than it really is, this habit of continual reflection will ensure that no form of adversity finds you a complete beginner." End quote. So there you have it. In my view, one of the most important things that anyone could hear before starting a new year. Things will be difficult, and life will throw curveballs in your way. Life is not easy, and it is never going to be. In fact, what's happening right now is a tiny metaphor for what I'm talking about here, because despite my best efforts to write this episode and record it so that I can get it out to you on time, it's just started storming outside, which is why you can hear that fuzz in the background. But as Seneca says, we are acting in our best interest if we will first decide to recognize that these struggles will be here, and that life will not always be perfect. By foreseeing the difficulties, we are better able to push through the difficulties. Battles have seldom been won by peacetime soldiers. To win the battle, you must first see the potential difficulties and obstacles, and then you must train day and night in preparation for any and all of those potential threats, so that when they come along, you will be ready. If you only expect good times to come, then you're a peacetime person. And when hard times do come, and they will, you'll be the first to fall. This is what Seneca is talking about when he says that we should prepare our personality to be ready to face everything. By doing this, nothing will be a surprise, and nothing will be too hard to bear. Let's face the new year with a more balanced approach. Let's be hopeful for better times, but understanding of the fact that the same natural laws that governed the world in 2017 will still be governing the world in 2018. Ambition has always been met with difficulty, and it will continue to be met with difficulty. Trials have never shown up at ideal times, and they never will. Mother Nature does not care about your parade, and she will rain on it if she wants to. These should not be distressing facts, but rather they should be empowering. They should inspire us all to become as fortified as we possibly can in our core values and beliefs, and to prepare the mind and body daily so that we are able to face any obstacle that stands between us and our goals. So now I say to you, 2018 will probably suck, but that doesn't mean that it can't be the best year of your life. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Practical Stoic Podcast. I hope that you've gotten a lot of value out of it, and I hope that it helps you to live a better life. If you have been enjoying this podcast, then don't forget to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you're listening to this, and leave a positive review so that other people can have the chance to listen to this great work. Don't forget that you can see more free resources on my website at risetothegoodlife.com or on Facebook at Practical Stoic Quotes.